if you played this with someone who is not your significant other, the law would probably be involved.
Dueling Decades.
All right, well, I pick up 2 points, and we're heading into the final round, the Hot Products round, and I have the lead. And oddly enough, this kind of works out really well for me, and you'll see in a moment. You know, with the NBA on strike, what are all these NBA players now to do? Well, let's find out. Let's go over to the Californian out of Temecula, California, July 12th, 1998, where the headline reads, Rodman, Malone to wrestle today at the beach. Utah Jazz star Karl Malone gets his chance for a little revenge when he squares off against Chicago Bulls forward Dennis Rodman in World Championship Wrestling's Bash at the Beach today at Cox Arena at the Aztec Bowl. Malone will team with Diamond Dallas Page, while Hollywood Hulk Hogan will be Rodman's partner. Other scheduled matches include All-Pro linebacker Kevin Green and Bill Goldberg versus 7'4", 450-pound giant and Kurt Hennig, as well as Bret the Hitman Hart against WCW TV champion Booker T. The event, which is being televised on pay-per-view, is scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. Tickets are priced at $57.50, $37.50, $27.50, and $17.50. Attendance for this show would be a sellout at just over about 10,000 people in the arena that night. Now, you'll notice that the article lists a tag match with Goldberg and Kevin Green taking on the Giant and Hennig. Well, the Monday before was when Goldberg finally beat Hulk Hogan on Nitro, and everything changed in WCW. This was one of the high points for WCW, and then we go into this pay-per-view. So instead, Goldberg would have his very first title defense on pay-per-view against Kurt Hennig, and then the Giant would go one-on-one with Kevin Green, who is just in his 5th professional match, which oddly enough would be his last match, because shortly after the NFL would get a little more restrictive on what they would allow their players to do. So the main event of Rod the Bod and Hollywood Hogan versus Malone and DDP is one of the worst main events in the company's history. The match drags out way too long. They give way too much in-ring time to Rodman and Malone. It exposes their lack of in-ring ability, and oddly enough, brings out a bad match in DDP, which he usually never has a bad match. So, you know, botch after botch, DDP and Rodman are actually like literally falling over themselves in the ring at one point. In the end, we saw Hogan and Rodman get the win by what else? An interference. This is the NWO after all. And the disciple, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, runs in, hits DDP with a cutter of his own, pulls Hogan on top for the win. So that's how we get that one. Absolute mess of a match. The rest of the card, though, was actually pretty good. Opens up with a Ravens Rules match. We had Raven versus Saturn. We had Juventud Guerrera versus Kidman. Stevie Ray versus Chavo Guerrero Jr. And then we had a hair versus hair match with Eddie Guerrero versus Chavo Guerrero. And the ending is messed up. You got to see it. Chavo ends up losing, but then shaves his own head. And takes like 15 minutes to do it because he's got all kinds of hair gel in his hair, and the clippers won't go through. So, but the highlight for me on this one was Rey Mysterio versus Chris Jericho. Pretty good match, and it was a return for Rey Mysterio, who was coming back from an injury there in his home area of San Diego, California. So it's, you know, it's not the worst WCW pay-per-view, but that main event, they should have just called it Botch at the Beach, because it was horrible. It really was. So that's what I got for my hot product. It was a sellout. People were disappointed, but it went anyway. It's WCW Bash at the Beach 1998. All right, Mancrush, what do you have for the hot products round?
I sort of have wrestling.
Ooh.
Maybe. It depends. You could wrestle with it. July 14th, 1988. I'm not going to be coy with this one because no one is really going to even know what this toy is anyway. And if you do know what this toy is, and you probably had a pretty interesting childhood, I would say. So this toy, it was touted as something Milton Bradley would call the body action game. Tuba Ruba. You guys know this one? No. So what was this game? What the fuck is a Tuba Ruba? This is basically some kind of weird bondage game for children 8 and up. And that only costs $12.78, about $29 in 2021. So this is Tuba Ruba. Basically, this is what it involved: a ribbed hollow tube, a marble, and preferably 2 people. I mean, if you have no friends or girls were repulsed by you, then you can do this game on your own. But lots of body action, like Bill and Bradley said. That said, it basically looks like 2 people are tied together with this hollow tube. And if you guys could just look at the box cover, like go and Google Tuba Ruba, look at the box cover in Google, and it essentially looks like 2 kids who've been abducted. That's what it looks like. So once someone wraps the tubes around both people, under their arms, through their legs, around their neck, however your sadist friends want to tie you up, someone then drops a marble on one end of the tube, and then both of these people who are wrapped in this tube that's ribbed have to work this marble all the way down to the bottom to make it fall out of the other end. Clearly, this game cannot be sold anymore. If you played this with someone who is not your significant other, the law would probably be involved at this point. It's even got its own little bizarre song that's on the package. And that went something like this: play by yourself or with a friend, roll that marble from end to end, connect the tubes, wrap them about, pop in the marble. Wow, look out. Now you're bending up and down, forward, backward, all around. All your friends and scream and shout. Now they see it. Now it's out. Tuba Ruba's fast and fun. Try it again. You've just begun. I give you Tuba Ruba.
Also
What
the
a
theme
time.
song from the Human Centipede.
Yes. Seriously, right now, just image, because I can't.
I'm looking it up right now. So funny story. I knew somebody that had these. I never saw them with the marble, but I remember him having these. Like
That's the thing. The marble went missing. So 20 to 1. These people spent like a lot of time in jail right now.
yeah, I can still I still kind of see myself in like these neon spandex biker shorts that I had. Kind of like, because these were all neon colors, and like I kind of remember like wrapping it around my arm. Yeah, it's weird. I didn't know what it was called though. That's crazy.
I found it. Somebody posted it on eBay, and I know eBay is going to say 1987, but because they probably printed the boxes in 1987.
Yeah.
But it first went on sale in 1988. And if you go to eBay and you look it up, there are a few of the listings on there. People are selling them for like $50. But one guy has like all the instructions in the pictures, and it's just glorious. Like, it's so 80s. The illustrations, it looks like the dude's wearing Adidas, but they're 2-stripe Adidas and not 3. And he's doing it. Yeah, and he's doing it by himself. But then if you Google it, I mean, it's made to play with somebody else tied to you. And you're probably not gonna do this with one of your other like dude friends from like your block. Be like, dude, you want to come over and do Tuba Ruba together? But like, can you picture this? Maybe, to each his own,
That's specific.
But it's made for 8 and up. Can you imagine? Like, this wasn't around when I graduated in 96. I don't think anybody had this in high school, but this seems like the ultimate like drinking party game.
Yes.
Where you're like,
party game.
Yeah. Well,
people are probably turn that into a bong or funnel.
Yeah.
It's multi-purpose.
Oh, I gotta get one now, man.
And it's ribbed. And apparently it made a really cool noise as it went through the marble went through the rib tube. For her pleasure. Inside out for mine.
Oh God.
All right, Mike Ranger, what did you bring for the hot products round?
Well. My hot product, I guess it's the worst, all depending on your worldview. In July of 1973, July of 1978, if you had $10 and the ability to travel to Watkins Glen, New York, then you could score yourself a ticket to the infamous Summer Jam at Watkins Glen, a concert featuring the Allman Brothers, the band, and the Grateful Dead. An estimated 600,000 people were in attendance, with about 150,000 tickets actually paid for. That means everybody else saw it for free. This thing was massive. It caused insane traffic jams. So many people arrived a day early. They actually got to see the band's sound checks on the 27th. And the concert, as for the concert, these guys played extended sets and also played an hour-long encore with all three bands on stage. This was the last concert that was held at Watkins Glen International Raceway until 2011 when Phish played there. Sounds like a great time, unless you're Mancrush, who absolutely hates the Dead. Yeah. So anybody who doesn't like jam bands had a miserable time. However,
You're aware
sounds
that
amazing.
I'm not the judge for this round of this game.
And the band was Canadian, so maybe that'll play into Joe Findlay's favor. Who knows?
Look at that.
I do like a good Canadian band.
All right, well, let's kick it over to Judge Joe Findlay for his verdict on the hot products round.
Okay, we got some fun ones here though. The Bash at the Beach. I have a very specific memory of this. Used to go to my friend's place and he'd have that like satellite hookup thing, and we'd watch all the wrestling pay-per-views. Even like weren't big WCW fans, but we'd go and we'd watch every one of them anyways. And we'd always end up mad. Very few of them came out so well where you're just like whatever. And I remember exactly the words that I said at the end of this pay-per-view when it just kind of went to that like still of like thanks for watching kind of thing. And we sat in silence for a moment, and I looked at my friend and I go, see, that's what I'm talking about. That was my exact reaction. I was like, every time we go to this, because the whole show, exactly like you said, like almost every single match in the card has somebody who is or is about to be a WWE Hall of Famer. Yeah. Like that's like just everybody. Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, you mentioned DDP, you mentioned like all these people. It was an embarrassment of riches that they squandered over there with things like this main event, this Malone and DDP versus Rodman and Hulk. These are the people, and like this is just them showing you who they are, because it wasn't too much longer in the future. I think it was the future when they gave David Arquette the championship. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. This is who they are, and this was probably, like you said, this was shortly after Goldberg winning the championship, so this is like the most attention on them at one time. I'm willing to bet that more people like who were WWE fans like exclusively tuned in for the first time to like really like, okay, what is this all about kind of thing. And
Goldberg had just won the belt the week before on Nitro, so
yeah, like, and what a waste. Why would you have not do your weird Malone, DDP, Rodman, maybe with somebody else, make that the second last match, and then give the Hulk Goldberg the main event. Then that's one of the best WWE or WCW pay-per-views of all time. But that's what they did, is they would get the ball and they would fumble it at every opportunity. Enter Tubaruba. Oh my God. You were describing this thing to me, and all I could think about was describing like, it was like, I made this Darth Vader toy and it's just one long shaft with his helmet, and you can set him to vibrate so you know when he's using the Force. Like, it's just like, it was like, that was a sex crime, that description.
If you go into the chat, I just posted a link to the picture of the box. Tell me that doesn't look like two happy abducted children.
I did see that, but you're right. They look like they're all tied up, and it's just, that's definitely got to go up when this comes up. That's definitely got to go up on the Facebook page, because good God, there was nothing innocent about, like, this is people laughing Like, if they didn't know what was going on, then they can't be a company still. It's impossible. I don't know.
Let me read you a couple steps from the instructions.
I might leave.
Okay,
let's do it.
I might as well just start from A, right? There's A through F. A, slip large loop of one wrist ankle band over your wrist. B, then wrap tube around your body any way you choose, or have a friend wrap you up. C, slip other wrist ankle band, the large loop, near the goal around your ankle. D, attach clamps over any two tubes that cross over each other or near each other. Clamps prevent the tube from sliding down your body during gameplay. E is my favorite one. Firmly pop any color Ruba into the starting gate with your thumb. Hint, beginners may want to play with the darkest Ruba first because it's the easiest to spot in the tube. Then wriggle, twist, and turn and maneuver that Ruba through the tube to the goal.
This kind of sounds like that IVF thing.
Yes.
Last one, F. To remove the Ruba, shake goal until Ruba falls out of the small hole.
So
this
the
sounds
Ruba is the ball?
I guess. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's like
Gotta
the marble.
get me some Ruba.
Yeah. Like, that sounds less to me like a fun game for kids and more of a way for me to save my marriage after doing nothing but podcasting for the last 6 years. Like, good Lord.
Yeah, like, can you imagine? It sounds like you're going ballroom dancing. Are we going to Tuba Ruba tonight?
What'd you do at Joey's house? I don't want to talk about it.
Played Tuba Ruba, ate stovetop.
Yeah,
His uncle came over. It got weird.
Yeah, let's just say I played a game and I know a lot more about myself than I did going in. And then let's go over to the Watkins Glen. Yeah, that's one of those crazy, just like concert experiences, and it's like a lot of big names in it and stuff like that. Again, I don't really know how it's necessarily a bad hot product. Again, if you don't like the jam bands, yeah, I get you. But I got no problem with the jam band. Jam bands, I'm very middle of the road on all of them, and that includes Fish, The Dead, and all that. If they're on, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a thing that exists, and it's, you know, it's not repellent to my ears, and that's good enough for me. It's, you know, it doesn't sound like somebody like Tubin Throat singing like at me or something like that, right? So, I don't know. I find that pleasant. I don't find it bad news again, or like not.
It's 1978. You know, There's not a lot of choices, not a lot of channels.
I'm not mad at you. You deal. You know, this is the bonus of having a contestant as a judge. He gets it. I understand. Like, you're saying that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what newspapers.com look like for you.
How am I supposed to fucking compete with Tuba Ruba?
You're not.
Well, you're supposed to shake the goal until the Ruba falls out of the small hole. Duh.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was just about to give this to Mark, and then you said those words, and now Mancrush wins. No, and that's the end.
I don't know how you weren't going to give it to him. It's Tuba Ruba.
It's because I didn't know what it was, really. We're talking about a bad hot product. The hot, you still should know what it is. And I knew all too well about that WCW thing. But Tuba Ruba, it wins. But it is the most ridiculous thing. You explain that to any human being, and they will assume that you are pranking.
You have children. If somebody bought this for your kids for a birthday present, this would go right in the trash in my house. I'd be like,
no, I'd wrap the tuba around.
You got to
re-gift
that.
Say, you stay away from my family.
You can't let siblings play this together.
No.
That's like a gift that you automatically know is gonna suck before you even take it out of the box. Like
one picture.
Yeah, like one year I got the Power Glove for Christmas, and it was like the greatest present ever until I hooked it up, and then it was the worst present ever. But that present I wouldn't even unbox it.
And it kind of looks like the character guy in the instructions kind of looks like David Bowie with black hair and sunglasses.
he would be the person to give this to two children and say, I have a fun game to teach you. But like him as like Jareth from Labyrinth. Like
Yeah. And he's got the tuba in his pants. That's what the
No,
bulge
I'm
is.
picturing him and Mick Jagger playing this game.
Mama Fratelli over in the corner watching.
Imagine Ozzy playing that game.
Oh,
Sharon, Sharon, turn to the left.
Ah, Sharon, it tastes like a stamp.
So yes, we're gonna stop calling it Tuba Ruba, though. We're gonna call it Tuba Luba for the rest of our lives. And yeah,
I think somebody
I got
needs to
nothing
purchase
for that.
this, and like a video needs to be done with two
we could
adults
have
doing
We
this.
could have a Tuba Ruba tournament right on our Facebook page. People can
I
just
think-
post up videos. Be fantastic.
Somebody would break a hip.
When's the
Most
first
likes.
Comic-Con we could all attend together?
Yeah.
Oh, we should look into like Rhode Island's like right around the corner. I think November time. Actually, I don't know if I'd be able to go to that one, but that sounds like a good idea. I say we bring that to the after party. Mike, we went to the after party. We like
Yes.
pop that baby out.
Yep. After party.
Aruba.
Grown men like me playing fucking Nintendo 64 at a party.
What else is there to do?
Whole
that's my
fucking
old-
party going on around me. I'm playing fucking Nintendo 64 with a broken controller. Some stranger kicks my ass and then drops the controller and walks away like I didn't have a broken controller. What a fucking asshole. I looked at him like, dude, like, come on.
You goddamn lucky we didn't have Tuba Ruba.
Yeah, you would have got your ass handed to you.
Well,
This was the game I
now
was
we
born to
can.
play.
Yeah. Redo.
Wonderful. Hello, my name is Joe Findlay, Media King of the North, Dueling Decades cast member and occasional judge of the program. By now, many of you have heard of the controversial actions of one Mike Ranger during a recent episode. Mr. Ranger misrepresented some facts during the Hot Products round while representing the year 1978. I'll let you listen to his prepared statement.
Is this on? Everybody hear me? Okay, just a moment, we'll get started. Ladies, gentlemen, during a recent recording of Dueling Decades, I, Mike Ranger, am guilty of spreading misinformation. During the Hot Product round, I gave an incorrect date for the Summer Jam at Watkins Glen, one of the biggest and most historic music festivals of all time. The events actually took place in 1973. We here at Dueling Decades take our research seriously. This is why you should always double-check your sources with newspapers.com. To the fans tuning in each week that have supported the show and trust its cast to deliver factual information, I'm sorry I let you down. I know I have failed, and words cannot express the shame and embarrassment we at Dueling Decades feel regarding this matter. We are committed to you, our valued listeners, and are taking immediate corrective steps to regain your confidence in us. We've always tried to bring humanity and dignity to the pop culture community. Because it's your history. We just fight for it. All right, that's all. No questions. No questions. Nope, sorry, no questions.
Here at Dueling Decades, we take such indiscretions very seriously, as we take everything very seriously. And as judge of that episode, the duty has fallen to me to dole out a punishment for this act. I had to take many factors into account. The fact that he admitted to this before he was caught, the fact that he did not win the round, the fact that he did not win the game, but I could not ignore the fact that justice needs to be served. So it is my unfortunate duty to rule that Mike Ranger will be banned from Dueling Decades for no less than 2 months and no more than 67 years. It could be anywhere in between there, depending on behavior and whether or not he joins a gang during his rehabilitation. We do take incidents like these very seriously, and we hope that Mike Ranger, during his rehabilitation, learns the error of his ways and comes back and fights for your history the way he always had in the past. Thank you, and good night.
All right, well, congratulations to Mancrush. You pull out yet another victory on this one with a last point from Mr. Joe Findlay here.
It's a rib tube.
That's right. want to thank Joe Findlay for serving as our judge for this one. Hey, Joe, why don't you tell everybody what's going on with Miscast Commentary and about your great YouTube channel?
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, I went to the wrong person. I'm so embarrassed. This is the ultimate time. Hey, you're doing great things. And then I fuck up on switching. There I am.
Well,
okay.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Mike, you just got extra screen time.
Nice.
Nice. But thank you for that nonetheless. Yeah, a lot of things going on. We're just completing our summer of sequels. As the most recent episode, we just did Best of the Best 2, and we got a couple more great ones. We're capping it off with Terminator 2 is going to be our final one, and then we're going back into just normal fun stuff there. So you can follow us on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts for those ones. And yeah, my YouTube channel, Miscast Joe, it's very much just a how-to and tech reviews and stuff like that. If you want to see how this show is made kind of behind the scenes, if you want to see how to design things on OBS, if you want to have a look at some USB mics or any of that stuff, that's where to go. Miscast Joe, drop me a follow there.
Right, Mike Ranger, what do you guys got cooking over on the Video Rangers podcast?
Well, we're going to be taking probably the next few months off as Chris Ranger is welcomed a second baby Ranger. But there are still plenty of episodes that anybody can listen to at their podcast listening app of choice. And if you'd like to send us an email, you can do that at videorangerspodcast@gmail.com and just say hello. And somebody probably will say hello back. That might happen. And the 100th email will receive a in the box tubaruba.
Just don't smell it.
Well, once again, congratulations to Mancrush. And if you'd like a transcript of the show, please self-addressed stamped envelope to Dueling Decades. Or you could just look down in the description notes and you'll find all the links to all of our social medias right there. And you can go on our website, duelingdecades.com. You can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere podcasts are available. And speaking of places we're available, do you know where else we're available, Mancrush?
PodTV.live, which is available on what, Joe?
Space. it's everywhere. Roku, Firestick, smart TVs, smart computers. All computers are smart. Go, PodTV.live.
All right, Duelers, well, I want to thank you for spending some time with us. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little notifications button, and we'll talk to you next time. So until next time, Duelers, we're going to bid you a peace, love, light, and a joy. Have a grateful week, everyone.